Good morning and welcome to the Committee of Adjustment meeting for April 9th, 2025, and the meeting will now come to order. Notice to all those in attendance that this meeting will be live streamed on YouTube and recorded. Please note that the recording will be linked to the municipal website following the meeting. Our committee today consists of Jeff Isles, who's Director of Planning, Evan Meyer, who is Secretary Treasurer, myself, Mr. Don Popple, and the Chairman, and Mr. Gerald Walker, and Mr. Chris Bishop over here. We have to, this is a public hearing to consider 3 applications for a minor variance to the municipality zoning bylaw. And it's this committee's responsibility to consider any information received to date regarding the requested variances, and to hear and consider any comments or questions provided by these applications. Any variances granted by the committee must meet 4 tests, which are very clearly defined in the Planning Act. Must be minor in nature, desirable for the proper development of the land, comply with the general intent of the official plan, and comply with the general intent of the zoning bylaw. Please note that if anyone wishes to be notified of a decision, please make a request in writing to the municipality. Does any committee member wish to declare a conflict of interest for any of these? The answer being no, so that would be good. Any oral or written submission received in advance of the meeting will be verbally read aloud at the time the application is considered. All persons who have pre-registered will have an opportunity to present or ask questions or about the proposals. Please direct your questions and comments to the chair. State your name in relation to the application prior to the meeting. But before we go ahead, we have to adopt the minutes of the meeting of March the 12th, 2025. Need a Chris Bishop. Gerald Walker. It's moved by Chris Bishop and seconded by Gerald Walker that be resolved the meetings of the Committee of Adjustment meeting of March the 12th, 2025 be adopted. Moved and carried. Good. Site inspection. I need a mover and a seconder for the minutes of the March 18th, 2025 site inspection. Moved by Chris. Is that the one I second? Oh, Gerald. Moved and seconded the minutes of the March 18th site inspection meeting be adopted. Carried. We're ready to go now. So the first application that we're dealing with is the lands of Powell, Township of Harborne, 1494 Curry Road. And that was the meeting that we attended as a site meeting. So Jerry can't participate in this part of it, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So because committee member Walker wasn't there, he can't vote on this file.
So we're dealing with 2 variance equations here. The variance to section 5.2 to permit a shed to have a minimum exterior side lot line setback of 0.9 meters or 3 feet, as opposed to the required minimum of 3 meters or 10 feet is granted by, and the second one is section 330 to permit a shed to have a minimum of street setback of 5.4 meters or 18 feet, as opposed to required minimum of 8.5 meters or 28 feet is granted by. So as a result of the site meeting,
Yeah, we went up to the site meeting, the road supervisor was there, and we all agreed that
I need a,
that it's gonna work out to grant the motion to pass the request. There was a stipulation going to be put into place, Jeff, I believe that the existing trees and rock were to remain in place to create a barrier from the snow removal when it was being plowed in the winter time. So was there any,
So we're gonna grant the first variance then?
Yep, and if
Yes.
the committee agrees through you, Chair, that we can add that condition that that existing vegetation remain.
Yeah, well, you guys can handle that, right?
Yep.
So a variance to section 5.2 permit a shed to have a minimum exterior side line, lot line setback of 0.9 meters or 3 feet as opposed to required minimum of 3 meters or 10 feet is granted. And is seconded by me. Okay, and a variance to section 3.30 to permit a shed to have a minimum street setback of 5.4 meters or 18 feet as opposed to required minimum of 8.5 meters or 28 feet is granted by a minor variance.
yes, I make the motion to. pass the
Moved by
request.
Chris, seconded by me. That's carried.
Through you, Chair, the applicant is in attendance today. I don't know if they have any questions, but perhaps we could just ask her if she has any questions before we end this file.
Shoot.
Sorry, I'm good. I have no questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that's the second file. Mike Marshall is in attendance.
We want to read the conditions under which we're passing the site application.
Yeah, we can do that if you like.
Can you do that, Adam?
Yep, I can read those conditions from the last application. So no new comments were received since the last time the committee discussed this file. Condition number 1 was any encroachment beyond the variance granted herein will require a further application for a minor variance. Condition number 2, the County of Haliburton Shoreline Tree Preservation Bylaw 3505 applies. Condition number 3, during construction, proper site preparation and construction methods are to be used to prevent sedimentation of the adjacent lake. Condition number 4, prior to the pouring of footings, the applicant must submit confirmation from an Ontario land surveyor that the shed meets the granted exterior side lot line setback and granted street setback. Condition number 5, prior to occupancy, the shoreline shall be repaired to a natural state using native vegetation. Buffers and clearing are permitted as per the site alteration bylaw. Condition number 6, prior to the pouring of footings or June 1st, 2025, the hot tub located within the minimum water setback shall be removed or brought into compliance with the zoning bylaw. And then condition number 7 that was just added recently, the wording we have for it was the vegetation screening the shed from Curry Road shall be maintained. I can bring the applicant back forward in case she has any comments on that.
She's on there. isn't it?
Yes, I just had moved her back as an attendee. I'll bring her back in.
You know.
Sorry, Lori, did you have any comments on those conditions? If you'd like
Sorry,
to.
can you, I feel bad, but can you read them again? Because I thought you were talking about Mike's
Yep.
file.
No worries, I can read them again. So no new comments were received. The first condition was that any encroachment beyond the variance granted herein will require a further application for a minor variance. Condition 2, the County of Haliburton Shoreline Tree Preservation Bylaw 3505 applies. Condition number 3, proper site preparation and construction methods are to be used to prevent sedimentation of the adjacent lake. Condition number 4, prior to the pouring of footings, the applicants must submit confirmation from an Ontario land surveyor that the shed meets the granted exterior side lot line setback and granted street setback. Condition number 5, prior to occupancy, the shoreline shall be repaired to a natural state using native vegetation. Buffers and clearing are permitted as per the site alteration bylaw. Condition number 6, prior to the pouring of footings or June 1st, 2025, the hot tub located within the minimum water setback shall be removed or brought into compliance with the zoning bylaw. And then condition number 7, which was added recently, is the vegetation screening from the shed or The vegetation screening the shed from Curry Road shall be maintained.
Sorry, the vegetation screening for the shed, what is that?
So the current vegetation that was there and that we saw on the site inspection,
Sorry,
That-
the trees in the rock.
yeah,
Okay. And then the hot tub that's being stored there, what is the setback? Like, where can I store it?
so the setback from the high water mark is 20 meters.
Got it. Okay. How do I know, sorry, one more question. What is it right now?
I'd have to look at the site plan, what was on there. So on the site plan, you have your deck at 31 feet and the hot tub is to the side of that. So it's within 35 to 40 feet of the lake.
It has to be 20 meters,
Yeah, which is 66 feet.
66. Okay, thank you.
You're good to go. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
you're welcome. The Marshall Group. You can sit up here if you want. And, just all you gotta do is turn on the mic. Red?
Hello? Okay.
I don't. No, Mike Marshall. Well, welcome to Halliburton. So Mike, you can just start this off with what your plan is and we'll maybe have a few questions back and forth and then we'll see what we can work out for you.
All right. So on the drawings, I don't know if you can see it. So what I had initially thought from Dan 100 years ago was this original deck that was there, that we were allowed to go that far out. The reason that the variance started was because of how the overhangs are on the cottage. The cottage is further back than the original one by quite a ways, but the reason I started the application for this was because we discovered that to clear the awnings, we were going to have to go about 80 square feet into past the original deck line. And that was what the original approach was. And Adam was, quite clear that that took us inside this magic 10-meter line that I was unaware of. So at his behest, I reconfigured it so everything stayed inside this magic 10-meter line. And that's what the most current drawing has. Most of it's way inside what the original deck was, but there is a section, admittedly, that is outside of where the original deck was to be totally open.
I don't think we have a problem with this, do we?
I think that it's minor, it's a, minor allowance for sure, and I don't have an issue with it.
Gerald?
And I'm the same, gentleman moves the cottage back and, it's just a kind of a little configuration on the corner and I don't have an issue at all.
Okay, it also allows us to use the old anchors for the original deck,
Exactly.
which is
Okay.
helpful.
So
Well,
you
I'll
move it
make a motion that we grant the, variance as presented.
and a seconder? Chris Bishop? A variance to section 3.7 to permit an attached deck to extend 4.4 meters or 14.4 feet into a minimum water setback as opposed to the permitted maximum of 3 meters or 9.8 feet is granted. Carried? That didn't hurt at all.
Gentlemen, you have no idea how refreshing it is to see reason and logic and common sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Your deck.
Well, it's okay. So we got the approval.
What's it? You
Okay,
gotta, you gotta
so I
approve.
was scared
All
to
you have to
death
do is
here
invite us to
because
the
this
party.
would totally mess up the whole thing, and it's all my fault because I'm not a builder. I should have seen this stuff coming when Dan was still.
There is
in
an
it.
appeal period of
Oh,
20
geez, there we
days,
go.
so.
Okay,
20 days.
20 days. Has there been,
Whatever you're going to do, just don't start until 20 days.
yeah, we still got.
I don't expect there will
No,
be any question about it.
Yeah.
so.
now, was there any objection prior to the meeting?
We did not receive anything, no.
Does that happen very much? Do people actually object to him?
less
Sorry,
and
I don't
less.
want to take your time, guys. You guys gotta,
The odd,
Let's-
the
Oh,
odd
no,
time.
that's okay.
Most of the
Yeah.
time, there's usually no objections.
The-
I would say
It was publicized in the
75%.
paper, and so anybody who wished to complain or put a objection to it, that hasn't happened. So, I'd say you're sailing.
And
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
should you read the staff comments and the condition,
Pardon me?
recommendations?
The conditions.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Adam
You
usually.
may have
reads
some
those,
conditions.
Yep,
You wanna
through
go
you,
with that?
Chair. Notice the minor variance was circulated as required by regulation on March 25th, 2025. No comments have been received. Condition number 1, any encroachment beyond the variance granted herein will require a further application for a minor variance. Condition number 2, County of Halliburton Shoreline Tree Preservation Bylaw 3505 applies. Condition number 3, proper site preparation and construction methods are to be used to prevent sedimentation of the adjacent lake. Condition 4, prior to the pouring of footings, the applicants must submit confirmation from an Ontario land surveyor that the attached deck meets the maximum encroachment as granted by the committee. And condition number 5, prior to the pouring of footings, the applicants must submit confirmation from an Ontario land surveyor that the attached deck does not expand within 0 to 10 meters from the high water mark.
You okay with that?
Yeah, it's all reasonable. So I just have to get a surveyor out there again.
Just to confirm the
Yeah,
setback.
Just make sure
Is-
they're in the right place.
Is that like a full surveyor?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've never done that before. I mean, I had Strongman did the survey originally, but so you can get a surveyor to just come and say, tell me where this is. Is that how it works?
and through your chair, they typically would just stake where that 10-meter setback is. And then also where that, I think the committee granted a, sorry.
4.4 meters.
4.4-meter extension from the house. They're gonna mark those setbacks, just so that when the building department goes out,
Mhm.
they're just gonna see where those
Okay.
setbacks are.
It might be worth it for me to do that ahead of time, though.
Yeah, and if you want the surveyor to contact staff, we can walk them through what's necessary to.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't need a survey. Typically, they just stake it or provide us a letter.
All right. Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's all reasonable.
You're good to go.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. Same to you. So we got Brad and Tony. Is that who we got? Who's going to speak to this application of special? Come up here. We're friendly. We don't have to yell.
That button, light will come on and then when you're done.
So you tore your house down and
Yeah.
you're all set, eh? You're getting there. And you're looking for a variance to permit a seasonal dwelling to have a maximum structure height of 11 meters or 36.1 feet as opposed to the permitted maximum of 9.5 meters or 31.2 feet. Correct? So do we have any questions for these gentlemen?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, request is minor and there's no impact on the height to anyone or surrounding neighbors or anything, so I don't have an issue with it.
And I'll ditto that,
Ditto that?
and I'll make the motion that we grant the variance as requested.
Chris, second it? Everything usually isn't as easy, but anyway, a variance to section 5.2 to permit a seasonal dwelling to have a maximum structure height of 11 meters or 36.1 feet, as opposed to the permitted maximum of 9.5 meters or 31.2 feet is granted. Tell us what he has to do.
Yep. So through you, Chair, notice of the minor variance was circulated as required by regulation on March 25th, 2025. No comments have been received. These are the recommended conditions. Condition number 1, this variance applies to a seasonal dwelling as shown generally on property sketch dated March 13th, 2025 and attached to the decision. Any encroachment beyond the variance granted herein will require a further application for a minor variance. Condition number 2, the County of Halliburton Shoreline Tree Preservation Bylaw 3505 applies. Condition number 3, during construction, proper site preparation and construction methods are to be used to prevent sedimentation of the adjacent lake.
You're good to go. Pleasure having you over here. Here you go.
Move that we adjourn,
Good.
11:21.
7 minutes over your estimate.
Yeah.
Be it now resolved that the move and second of the committee's meeting be adjourned at 11:25, 11:22 AM. Carried.